Hello, my name is Gallent, and this is my answers to coding problems set 2. So we had three separate parts here, so I'll go problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. For our first problem, we need to write a program to calculate the credit card balance after 1 year if a person only pays 2% minimum monthly payments with a balance of 5,000 and an annual rate of 0.18. So with those, here's my answer to that. I created my starting variables, which are balance, annual rate, monthly payment rate, and the months. I used a for loop with in range of the months plus 1, and every single time this loops, it creates a variable called minimum payments, which is equal to balance times monthly payment rate, which is 0.02. Unpaid balance equals balance minus minimum payment, which is right here. Interest and balance. So this is all the math that was given to us right here. But yes, and this is how it calculates each month, and then it will go back and do it all the way through every single month. Once it has every month done, it prints the balance. It uses the this format here to put it into the two-place decimal form, and then prints the remaining balance, which should be $4,666.25. So basically that's saying after 12 months, if you paid the minimum monthly rate that you could at this interest rate with this starting balance, you would still owe $4,666 at the end of the 12 months or 1 year. For our second problem, we are paying off the debt in a year. It's the same kind of problem, but instead we want to figure out if we had a fixed monthly payment, which we are testing by increments of $10. What is the minimum payment we could pay each month for it to completely pay off the balance by the end of the year? So I did that with a while loop or a for loop inside of a while loop. So the while loop is simply testing whether the test balance is still over 0, because if it's not, that means we have paid off our entire balance, and it will just print the last statement. But if it hasn't, then we're going to come in, we're going to create a test balance. The reason for that is so that we still have our remaining balance to always come back to every single time we loop through with the while. So our test balance and our monthly payment is going to increase by 10 since it starts at 0. And so the first time it goes through, it's going to start at 10. It's going to go through each month. Similar kind of math, just making sure, hey, if we are paying $10, if our interest or if our monthly payment is 10, what would our balance be at the end of the year? And if it is still greater than 0, then it's going to loop through again, and it's going to add another 10. It's going to go 20, and then 30, 40, 50, all the way through until it realizes, oh, we are at 0 or less than, and the minimum monthly payments we would have to make for it to clear out the entire balance by the end of the year is $420. The last one took me a little while, was very tricky. Was using bisection search to make the program faster. So the main reason why this took me so long is because of the fact that I had a variable named upper bounds, and then I had a separate variable named higher bounds, and thought they were the same thing, and kept wondering why nothing was changing, and it took me 20 minutes to figure that out. So once we look at this interest rate right here, we are once again doing a very similar thing. So some of my code is just same copy paste, but the difference being that we want to now, instead of going by increments of 10, we want to find down to the decimal place the actual minimum monthly payment we could pay to have all of our money cleared by the end of the year, all of our debt of 5,000. So rather than going on just starting at 1 cent, then 2, then 3, all the way through, we decided to create an upper bound and a lower bound, which are displayed right here, and we get that information from here. And we use these to figure out what could our monthly rate be. So This while loop is now testing is the test balance over a cent or less than $0. The reason for it is that's just a area, that's just a gray area. It's probably not going to be down to the exact, you know, 0.0000 all the way through. So this gives us a little range of 1 cent to be, if it's within this, it's right. So as long as it's not in that range, then we know we need to keep looking. Creates a test rate, which is using these two upper bounds to find the halfway point. So if we subtract these two, divide it by 2, and subtract that from the higher one, we get the exact halfway point between the upper and lower bounds. And then we have to reset our test balance every single time. Then it goes through and loops for each month, doing the entire thing. Then it gets to our final balance. If the test balance is over 0, then we know that our lower bounds needs to become the new, or our test rate needs to become the new lower bounds. If it's above 0, then our test rate needs to become the new higher bounds. Or, sorry, if it's above 0 or lower 0, then the test rate becomes the lower or upper bounds, and then it resets, goes back, and says, oh, create a new test rate, which is halfway between the new two bounds, and it keeps doing this until it goes right in between this range of 0.01 and 0. Once it does that, once again, formats it, and then prints it to the page, which in this case prints 419.90 cents. And that is my answers to coding problem set 2. Thank you very much.